up? It's your girl Beck, and welcome back to my channel. I'm happy to be here with y'all. I'm happy y'all are here with me. Okay, your girl is coming to you in her most natural state today because that's just how I'm feeling. And I mean, I don't really feel like wearing makeup at this time. And also, I feel like my message is just very streamlined today, and this is just gonna be a really quick video. And I also have to go pick up my daughter from my mother-in-law's house, so I really don't have that much time. But today, I wanted to kind of talk about why I am currently solo studying in my spiritual studies and kind of break that down for y'all. So let's get right into it. Let's go. So, a little bit of background. I have been doing some spiritual soul searching for quite some years now. It really kicked up during COVID, like heavy, like during quarantine, because before that, I didn't really have like a super spiritual history as far as like, I didn't really know what spirituality was fully about. And so I didn't know if it was something I wanted to claim for myself or not. And I do have a video kind of addressing kind of my spiritual past. I believe it is Reroute to Root that I kind of talked and touched a little bit on my spiritual past. So I won't go too deep into that. But in probably 2021, I ended up joining, in probably 2021, I ended up joining spiritual groups. One I ended up not liking, like off rip, and I ended up leaving for financial purposes because I feel like they were I feel like their model was a bit predatory and a bit misleading and just a money grab, and I didn't want to fall prey to that. So I ended up separating myself from that. But the other group that I joined, I actually really loved, and I actually really felt very accepted and very emotionally honored in that group a lot, especially in the beginning. And I wanted to be really very involved with the group. And I did try my best to be involved with the group. And this year, actually, in the beginning of the year, I actually ended up leaving this group. And I don't think it's going to be a forever thing. I do think I will probably be returning at some point. But I did end up leaving towards the end. Before I ended up leaving, I had a couple off and on feelings about the group. A big part of why I was struggling within the group was because after I had been in the group for a couple years, right? Because I have been in that group pretty much since then. When I first joined, I felt like the energy was so pure, and it was really about what it was really about. And it was really about building family and connection and spiritual community. And I started feeling something change within the energy of the group. And now this has nothing to do with the person who originally made the group. I still think this person is an amazing teacher and an amazing guidepost for so many people, myself included. I still do consume their content and their teachings. So I really do love this person. But I did feel a shift within the energy of the group. I started to feel a bit uneasy within the group at times, and a bit judged by members of the group. And I know for a fact that I'm not the only one that felt this way. A big thing within the group was us learning to use our own discernment. And during that time, around the middle portion that I was involved in the group, a couple of years in, I felt the need to kind of take a step back from the group and just do self-study. And I think that time was a very productive time for me because I motivated myself, and I found the determination, motivation, and consistency within myself to do the work and to do the spiritual practice. However, I did go back and reference within the group multiple times, and I hopped in and out of the group. After that, as the energy kept progressing, I stopped going into the group unless I had a question for the group. And then by then, I felt like on my side, I wasn't being a team player as much as I was in the beginning, because I was really helping to try to answer as many questions as I possibly could within the group. But then because the energy was kind of shifting, I was just going into the group with questions. So then I just stopped going in there to ask questions. I stopped going in there to answer questions. And anytime I went in, it was just for meetings and like larger events where we would all talk and meet and things like that. And I had been talking to my husband about it for a while, because I did learn how to tap very, very closely into my discernment and very closely into my intuition and my gut feelings. And but I was still in a place where a lesson had not fully been learned to listen to these feelings and to apply them when I felt them. And so last year, I started talking to my husband about possibly leaving the group and explaining to him why I wanted to leave the group. And of course, he's like, well, yeah, that's completely justified, right? But also, I'm still coming to him for justification to say, like, yes, it's okay to leave the group, right? Eventually, someone else in the group left. And I had been sitting on this and waiting for the right moment to talk about or to think or to actually just do the action. And it felt like in that moment, a lot of things that they said were things that I also felt. And it almost gave me validation, like that it was time to go ahead and take a step back from the group. And not even from a place of because it's a bad place, because it's not that the group itself was bad. And a lot of the topics that we talked about were very good, very productive. But I do think that certain energies within the group, and this is not people, this is just energies and maybe energy that people have carried in with them. But just certain energies within the group were just not the same as they once were, and not as comfortable for not just myself but others as they once were. Like I said, I still love that whole spiritual community and group, and they still very much have a place in my heart, because when I needed the group, for the most part, was there. And the group came right on time for me. But as I'm thinking about it, I realized that I needed to, even the last time when I took a step back from the group to regroup and do solo study, I didn't actually commit to doing solo study. I still popped back in the group, and I still used the group as kind of a crutch for the part of the solo study that I didn't want to do for myself. So this time around, I actually fully, completely left the group in a way where I can't physically go back unless I obviously pay and all that good stuff. So I completely removed myself from the group, and now I'm going to be solo studying. And I think that a really, really important part of solo study is that you are finding yourself within the spiritual journey and yourself through a spiritual lens. And you are learning how these spiritual concepts apply to you in your life versus other people giving their perspectives on it, and then you possibly adopting those ideas as your own. But you can really, really, really come into your own through your spiritual practices and with your spiritual practices. And that's really important in the spiritual journey, because one thing that a lot of folks don't do is they don't learn themselves. They just learn the craft. And there's no special sauce behind it. There's no you behind it. You want to put your own touch on it because it's your own spiritual journey. It's your own spiritual rituals. And these are things that are going to be passed down in your family and how your family is going to do these things. And so it can be a big task to say, I'm going to take the time to solo study and to come across these things naturally on my own and to build my own objective opinions and objective rituals and things of that nature, to go through that on my own so that I can stand on my own 2 feet when the time really comes to where I have to now teach this to my family, or this has to be incorporated in my actual life. So I'm talking fast now because I only have a little bit of time left. But yes, to anyone out there who is looking to self-study, or who is a part of a group, or who maybe hasn't even found a group and is self-studying, There's going to be ups and downs. Sometimes you're going to feel like you're falling off. Sometimes you're going to feel like you're really on top of things. There's going to be a lot of things that you need more understanding on, and it's going to take more studying. And sometimes the fast route isn't always the best route. Sometimes, fast food isn't good for us. You feel what I'm saying? Like sometimes doing things quick isn't always best for the long run. So really, really, really don't get discouraged. Stay on track. I encourage people to take time away from larger groups to do self-study. And I encourage people to sit with the energy of isolation, because sometimes you need to isolate yourself in order to grow. I know it's hard. I know it's a lot of work, but it can be so beneficial when you come out on the other side and you know that you did the work. You know what I mean? One thing I always think about is, for a while I was looking for a spiritual mentor, which is why I joined a lot of these groups. And I don't even know if I was fully ready. And, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And so it might be hard to do this work by yourself for quite some time and to do this solo study. But if you're someone who is yearning for a teacher, for a mentor, keep at it, because that teacher will appear. The universe will say, you are willing to literally do the work. You are so determined to do this work that you have set out this course and you have done it so far on your own that here is your teacher. Here is your time. Some things are going to be really hard when you get a teacher, because even then they can't tell you what to do. They can only guide you. And so I think that self-study really prepares us for that mentality of like, instead of saying, well, tell me what to do, tell me what to do, which is a lot of what we do within some of these spiritual groups, the energy is very much like, here's the guidance. Think about this. Now you go figure out what to do. And I feel like self-study really prepares you for that. It is really a beautiful cocoon process. And cocoon is very much isolating, and it is very much the same kind of energy. You're isolating yourself for the greater good of self and spirit and for the whole. So, yes, it is okay to self-study. It is hard, but you can do it. And when you are ready, your teacher will appear. If you're self-studying, keep at it. Much love. And if you're not, and you're thinking of self-studying, just give it a try. Dip your toe in. If it seems kind of hard, then dip back out. That's what I did. But now I'm going to be full-time self-studying, and I'm excited, and it's probably going to be hard, but I'm going to keep on going, y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I had to go get my daughter because I'm a little bit over time, but much love, everyone. Whatever day this is for you, have a great day. I'm happy that I was here with y'all. I'm happy y'all are here with me. And until next time, peace, peace, peace.